To be permitted to drive on the road, models of newly manufactured vehicles need to pass the type approval test. In the European Union and in certain other countries, mandatory emissions standards apply. For some time, compliance with these standards has been tested on a dynamometer using the clearly defined WLTP cycle. Additionally, nitrogen oxides and particles are analysed during real journeys on the road with the Real Driving Emissions (RDE) test. The complete type approval test also includes additional tests, some of which are set to become much tighter from September 2019 onwards. The Euro 6D Temp EVAP ISC will then apply to emission limits. What's new in it? Small amounts of hydrocarbons vaporize from every car. They might come from plastic components, but the majority come from the fuel tanks of petrol-driven cars because petrol is more volatile than diesel. A limit applies to these so-called evaporative emissions. It defines the amount of hydrocarbons permitted to escape from a warm parked car. EVAP are measured in an airtight shed test chamber. At up to 35 degrees Celsius, the vehicles remain in the test chamber for a defined time while the escaped quantities are measured. New petrol-driven cars must emit significantly less in future. Instead of the current 24 hours, this test lasts 48 hours, but the maximum figure of 2 grams remains unchanged. Compliance with the emission limits is monitored even after the type approval test. During series production, Volkswagen therefore continuously tests cars on the dynamometer in the WLTP cycle and will continue to do so throughout a model's entire production time. However, monitoring does not stop there. Random checks are carried out on customers' vehicles that are less than 5 years old when they go in for a service, naturally with the owner's agreement. Volkswagen also uses a mobile test lab for this in-service conformity test, during which the vehicles once again undergo the WLTP cycle. This standard monitoring also includes RDE tests. When driven on the road, various customers' cars demonstrate that they also adhere to the limits even after up to 100,000 kilometers. From 2020 onwards, new vehicles will also feature a lifelong consumption memory, which will permanently detect the quantity of fuel consumed. The precision of this fuel consumption monitor, or in short FCM, is statutorily defined and is tested in a WLTP cycle. This tracks how much fuel the individual car has consumed during its individual use over the lifetime of the vehicle. Many steps are being taken to ensure that cars are becoming ever more environmentally conscious. The updated EVAP test takes into account the fact that emissions are produced from more than just the car's exhaust pipe. Field monitoring observes vehicles on the market. RDE trips ensure that even used cars adhere to the limits on the road.